Moving on. This election, not only do we need you to vote, but we need you to show your support. So as you start lining up behind candidates and everything else, we're going to need you to put the signs in your yard. One of the most effective things the Trumpers did, they had their banners flying and their signs posted everywhere. It gave the impression like, oh, everybody's into this. Well, that's not true. It's just that the rest of us were sitting there quietly with empty yards. In this election, we need you to vote, and we need you to persuade and compel others to vote. Part of that is showing your support before the election with the signage in the yards. There'll be more of that to come later on, but I just want you to start wrapping your head around that idea. Moving into announcements. Our next month, March 7th, is our county convention. So we've got one open position. We're looking for a third vice chair. Usually that position is age restricted. We're trying to get someone, I think it's under 35. But if we don't have a person that's under 35, we can still have a person in that position. The idea is we need someone who is specifically focused on helping us engage the younger portion of the electorate. So if you know that you've got an affinity in that area, or you have an interest in that area, or you've just got great communication skills, consider running for that position. That's our third vice chair. We will also be electing delegates to the state convention. The state convention is May 30th in Columbia. It's a one-day convention. It's a 3-day event, okay? By three-day event, the day before is when they have the big Palmetto banquet. It's their equivalent to our Carnell Mace Drummond event. We'd like to have several tables from Greenwood to go down with that. There is a table discount. So if you're interested in considering doing that, coordinate that through the party so that we can all sit together. We'll have a discounted table and be able to show the support and activity from Greenwood for the Democratic Party. Then on Saturday we meet, and it's very interesting. I mean, the first time I went, I was like, I see what the local party's like. Let me go see what's happening on the state level. It's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. But nothing's going to change until we get involved and make the change. So that's our convention coming up in March. We're going to have some representatives from Representative Heather Bauer's group that talks about what it takes to be a Democrat and win an election in a very red territory, which is what she did. So, and it all comes back to her ground game and her volunteers. If you didn't think it made a difference, she can share with you exactly how that makes a difference. And hopefully we will be more empowered to make a difference here in Greenwood. This year, the fish fry is moving to May 2nd. That's the first Saturday in May. It happens to be Derby Day. We're going to move to that day permanently so that every year, whether we've made the announcement or not, you know this is when the fish fry is coming up. So it's always going to be that first Saturday in May. What is different this year is we're going to combine it with the old stump meeting. You remember Cokesbury College used to have a stump meeting. The Republicans said, well, we aren't going to participate anymore, so they just canceled the event. We don't have to have them there to have an opportunity for all of our candidates that are running to stand before the electorate and say, here's what I'm standing for, here's what I can do, here's how I want to change it and make a difference. That means, unlike the past where we had a day where people would just drop through and get food, we need everybody to show up about the same time so that we can hold that event. It's going to be at the West Cambridge Park, which is different from where we had before. It's a larger space. It's a greener space. We're encouraging everybody to bring your lawn chairs. There will be room for that, and participate in that day. We still need volunteers for that. If you're interested in working on and being a volunteer with the fish fry, Tori is the person that you need to talk with. All right? Cassandra, did you have an announcement? Lane, no. Y'all, we're recording this and putting it on our website. So that's why it's important that you're speaking into the mic. Even though the people around you may hear you screaming, it won't make the recording.
If I knew I had to stand up here, I probably wouldn't have raised my hand. But I did want to say, as we move toward the election cycle, we want to engage precinct leads. And so if you know that you are a precinct lead, if you could stop by and give me your name, I'd appreciate it. I'm sitting at the table over there with David and Joel and Carol. If you could raise your hands, that's where I will be. So come on by and give me your name and number. Thanks. Oh, my name is Cassandra Harrigus.
Who knows what a precinct lead is? We are all organized into precincts, neighborhoods. And there needs to be a spokesman, or we would like a spokesman or a lead from each neighborhood. I happen to represent Newcastle. I don't even know where Newcastle is. Okay. But what it does is it allows you, the traditional notion of precincts was we all know our neighbors, and we know our neighbors well enough to talk to them about political events and situations. The reality of it is now most of us don't know our neighbors because new people have moved in and we're more private with what we're doing. So the challenge is now, how do we effectively communicate with our neighbors to encourage them to participate in what's going on? If you live in a neighborhood and you know you have a time and interest in being a part of this process, then we need you to lift your hand, talk with Cassandra, and we'll get you appointed as the precinct captain for there. And then we'll talk further about ways that we can then use that to engage the people around you to participate in the process. We all clear as mud on that? Starts with if you're in the neighborhood and you want to represent your neighborhood, talk to Cassandra. Next.
Good morning, Democrats. Seriously, that was pretty lame. Thank you. All right, I am speaking in two different roles, so I have two different hats today. All right, first of all, I am Cynthia Halpin-Brown. I'm your volunteer coordinator. So what I need everyone to do is please get out your phone. And I want you all to call me. You're all going to call me just about the same time. I'm going to give you my phone number. I have my phone here, so I better get some calls. Okay. I'm giving you a minute to get your phones out. I know some of you have my number, so you don't need to call me. But everybody else, go ahead. Ready? Okay. Phone number is, my area code is 310. So it's 310-452-4232. Anybody need me to repeat that? Yay, I'm getting calls. Somebody from Michigan's calling me. Yay, I'm not going to answer because I'm going to continue this. Okay, at some point today, you could do it right now. You could plug in my name, Cynthia, last name Halpin-Brown, or put volunteer lady or Greenwood Dems, whatever you want to put in there, so that when I call you in the future, it doesn't come up as Bradley Brown from Santa Monica, California, which is where I used to live, and my husband's name, and we have the same account. So that happens. So thank you all for doing that. And if you need me to repeat my number, I will. Okay, phone number is 310-452-4232. And I'm just going to have that go out all over the internet, right, on our YouTube page. Great. All right. So how many people in this room are frustrated, angry, bereaved at a level with this government that they haven't experienced in the past? Okay. being in a situation you've never been in before calls for you to do something different. And in this moment, you have the opportunity to do some volunteer work to help change what is going on. Okay, there's blue sheets on most of the tables. So if you haven't been, volunteered, signed up to volunteer in the past, there's a great opportunity for you to do it there. And when I talk about doing something different, you'll have the opportunity, like Alan said, to make phone calls, to send out postcards, also opportunity to knock on doors. Most people here kind of get like that little heart going a little faster if you think about knocking on some stranger's door, right? Well, that's the kind of action we're going to need to do to get people to the polls and vote and make real change. And I will tell you, when we're sending you out and I'm going along with you, if we're knocking on doors, we're knocking on friendly doors. Because we need friendly people that are Democrats, like-minded people getting to the polls in order to make change. We don't need to change all the MAGAs to our worldview because that's not going to happen. But we need to get the people who align with us and want to see change, get them out voting. So in line with that, does anybody in the room have any experience working with League of Women Voters? Okay. We are in the process of starting to work with them to get some training going so we know how to register voters, because that's really one of the main things that they do. All right, now I'm changing hats. Now I'm very proud to be up here as the 50-51 Greenwood lead. So although there has been a group of us putting rallies together, putting protests together, we are now officially 50-51 Greenwood. Logo to come soon. So for those who don't know what 50-51 is, 50-51 started with the idea of 50 protests in 50 states with one protest. You may remember that from last year with the No Kings. And then the one, I think, hands off before that. So now it's 50 protests, 50 state, one movement. All right, we're a nonpartisan organization, grassroots organization, nonviolent. The focus is to hold up the Constitution and to end executive overreach. So this afternoon, we are, along with Upstate, which 50-51 Upstate, we are putting together a protest here in Greenwood. There's some flyers around, but it's at our usual spot, which is across from the fountain next to Inn on the Square from 3 to 5 today. It'd be great if you could come out. If you can't come out, and for the people who don't want to stand, we always have chairs, but if you could come by and honk and give us a friendly honk, we appreciate those. And then if you have any questions about 50-51, if you want to get involved, see me, whichever hat, or if I'm wearing no hat, it's fine. And then, all right, that's it. Thank you.
It's about showing and raising our visibility. If our good friends up in Minnesota have shown nothing else, coming out and standing and letting it be known that this isn't right and we don't stand for it, we don't agree with it, sends a powerful message that actually moves things. So we're here in Greenwood. We've got the luxury of it's not happened to that degree to us yet. But we've still got the same politicians in Columbia and elsewhere who are just refusing to stand up and do what we need them to do. So it's our turn to stand up and say to them, this is important to us, and we need you to do what you need to do to fix the situation. So stand and show your support.
All right. Good morning. I'm Carl Schwartzman, and I'm the Community Events Coordinator for the Greenwood Democratic Party. And two events that we have coming up. One is April the 11th. We'll have our annual Easter egg hunt. So start gather. I got plenty of eggs at home. Start gathering candy and different things that we can hand out to the kids. And that that's usually in the afternoon from like noon to 2. But you'll get more information when we get everything finalized. And the second thing, as the mayor talked about this morning, about we have our Adopt a Highway out on Cokesbury Road. And we'll probably do that near the end of April, picking up trash along the highway. And once again, thank you for those who brought canned food out for the Greenwood County City Food Drive. And that goes through the end of the month. And there are a list of drop-off locations online, and I'll make sure that goes out to different media platforms. All right, if you have any other ideas for community events that we can do, please let me know. Thank you.
Well, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've been behind this podium. I'm Bill Kimler, for those of you who are new to us. 4 quick announcements. First, I just want to say, as a point of personal privilege, I think our new chair, Alan Moore, has done a fantastic job this past year. Give it up for him, would you? He was the second person to arrive at the breakfast meeting today. I was the first to open up the facility. I met him out in the parking lot. I was dressed like this. He was dressed like Nanook from the north, who just got done with a Klondike run. And you can tell who was born in the South and who traveled from the North. It's also great, again, as a point of personal privilege, to see James and Judith Thompson back here at the breakfast meeting. We have missed you, and we're so happy to see you up and healthy and looking great. You would never have known you were under major surgery a while back. So we're just so happy to have you back here. Thirdly, this is an important one, running for office. So I made an official announcement on all my social medias that I am not going to be running for office this year in House District 13. And I just wanted to make that known so that others might step up and rise to that occasion. Filing to run for office starts in mid-March. So this is plenty of time for the next 45 days or so to think about it. Feel free to consult with me or with Alan or any others if you want to consider what it's like to run for office and be in office. Be happy to talk you through that process. But we cannot leave that seat unchallenged. That's the number one thing. The state party is making a very serious effort to ensure that every partisan race throughout the state is challenged. Good or bad, we need to have it challenged. Over 50% of races last time, there was no option except one name on the ballot. So we need to change that. So please see me if you're interested in about House District 13. We will also be putting on our website the list of all open spots, from city council to governor. You can still file to run for governor if you want. I think Governor Searles would be a great name. I'd vote for him. All right, so all sorts of positions, top to bottom, will be open. And finally, the most important announcement, in addition to the rally today from 3 to 5, Black, White, and Blue in the South, the podcast covering Democratic politics with a Southern flair, will be on site, recording live from that rally. So show on up, maybe even take a seat and give us your 2 cents, or maybe even a nickel's worth of your opinion. If you wish to get on the air, we would love to see you there. Hope to see you this afternoon.
Hi, I'm Lane. I just wanted to ask if anybody's interested in volunteering for Sylvia Wright, who's running for Secretary of Education, to please see me after the meeting. Thank you very much.
All right. To Bill's point, we need people to run in all of these offices. Can you imagine folks are angry enough now to want to vote against the Republicans that are in office, but there's no name on the ballot opposing them? That's the situation we're in. So again, talk with yourselves, talk with your neighbors. If there's anybody that has a remote interest, talking with us doesn't mean you have to run. At least you just find out more about it. And it may be that you run in this cycle, 26, or you run in this cycle of 28. But it all starts with the conversation. So please have them reach out to us. Any other comments, questions, or announcements for the good of the group? Thank you all for coming out this morning. Thank you for your attention. With that, we're adjourned.